I was actually doing a little bit of show prep.
Oh, good.
Yeah, for podcast prep. So,
Oh, good. And what's the topic?
well, the many topics are okay. And this will be the most bizarre thing we do, but I think it's funny and let's do it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually am working with pencil and an eraser. And I just
Pencil.
have to say, I've used these for years from this company they're German.
Oh, yeah, the
Stettler.
Stattlers. Mhm.
Oh my God, this is the best freaking eraser in the world. You shouldn't use any other eraser. So if you kids go and, start using pencils again.
I've got my Rotring 800 pencil that I use every day.
There you go. So let's do that as, a kind of a cute thing. Maybe in the middle, we can split up some time.
Or maybe we're already doing it. Welcome to We Fixed Real Estate.
There we go. I love being able to edit and not have to slice and tape. Any of you kids remember that? Any of you video editors who do, totally.
I remember
digital,
taping up
ever
some
try it?
publication.
Oh, so how old are you, by the way, if I can ask?
54,
54. Okay. So
53.
yeah,
Somewhere
Yes.
around there. 1971, October 26th.
there you go. Well, I'm an Eisenhower Nixon baby. So,
Okay,
we're just like that half a generation off kind of thing.
Yeah.
You guys could both be my grandparents.
There you go.
I
Really?
can be a great, that's motivational. What are you, René, these
I
days?
know, I'm kidding, Drew. I'm actually getting kind of old. I'm 28 now, so
He's getting near that 30, and I think 30 is going to kill him.
It's conceivable. I could have been a 14-year-old in high school.
I mean, the idea is you love taking the knowledge you have and, wouldn't you want to transport yourself back to the physical abilities you could do at your 20s with your brain now? You'll see, René. You still think old people are idiots, like the
Yeah.
rest of every generation who does it. It's just, looking at things like I'd like to be able to look at things as an 80-year-old and look
Mhm.
completely back. And because I'm sure there's still crap I'm doing in my 60s that's stupid. And I'll look
Yeah.
back and say, well, what'd you do that for?
Mhm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You always feel, I feel the same age as I felt since I was about 25.
That's
Except
good.
now,
Yeah,
except now I
it's all
don't
in the
feel
head.
now I don't feel like people look at me and they feel like I'm young.
Yeah, exactly. I
That was
know
the biggest
exactly what you
challenge.
mean.
I tried
Yeah.
half my life trying to look older, and now I'm spending the last half of my life trying to look younger.
Well, look what I'm doing. I mean, I used to be, like I went to a barber and he says, do you want a businessman's cut? So that's what I used to get. I didn't know any
For those of you that have not seen it, go to Arrivva, find some of Fred's old CNBC clips.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say that. It's like I did the whole shirt and tie. And now it's like, we're in California, dude. Nobody
Oh, yeah.
cares what you look like.
Black
So,
t-shirts are the uniform.
black t-shirts. There you go. René, you got the black t-shirt on or you're hiding today?
I'm deeply hiding today. I'm gonna get a
Okay.
haircut. I'm actually gonna go get a business haircut in a couple hours.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Because you're going to see your grandparents. So, you got to look respectable.
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, you know what? The thing is, grandparents lie so much. Whenever I go, they're like, "Oh, you look too skinny." It's like, no, I don't look too skinny. You just want me to be fat.
Yeah. It's a cultural divide because they never learned all the stuff about healthy eating and the fact that eating McDonald's every day can kill you. That's not on their radar.
Well, and speaking of things that, they never learned is a lot of people in, the older generation don't know that there's a new way of doing real estate, which is what this podcast is about.
Man, that was good. That was
let's,
good. Drew, he out-segued you today.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Well, that's not hard to do. I'm a master of the awkward segue.
And by the way, people, we haven't talked about the agenda at all, really. So let me just throw something out while René threw that in. It's like the only thing we can't control at this point on a global basis is what knowledge gets fed to people and how they're acquiring the knowledge.
Mm.
And the problem is, I was going through TikTok and found some dude, being nice, who he's a real estate coach. He's going to tell you how to market. He's going to tell you what to do in branding and blah 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 and blogging.
And he doesn't have
Whatever.
a business haircut.
No, he's a cool dude. These are the guys you'll see at conventions, trying to sell their crap with, perfect suit and whatever. And it's formalized. They just give everybody the same thing, but they make it sound so, oh, we're doing this, we're doing it. It's a repetitive thing. I'm always driving Drew crazy because I'm changing everything. And I got something to change that you're going to love today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't wait because we actually do a real marketing meeting after this. So this dude is finding every tiny little minutia of loophole to try to stretch out, like, why are they attacking us? We didn't do anything wrong. He's rah-rahing all these agents. So that's his plan. So that mentality gets into their head. Their companies are coming up with these strategies of how to justify their value. That's what this is about, value justification. So simply, we give a fixed fee. When we sell your house, we do all the inspections and pay for them. We pay for staging. We pay for photography. We do a great marketing job. We're going to put it in the likes. I'm using Claude lately. I think you guys are too. This changes weekly. To pop up the, oh, he's got a new one. Okay, we'll try a new one.
It is. You're using it.
Yeah, Claude. Oh, okay. To make sure the descriptions really appeal to people, because we can put in there, if we know your house is going to be bought by somebody 30 to 50, millennial-ish, and good job in tech, blah, 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 your basic Bay Area couple, person, whatever, then we know how to, talk to them, or at least the AI knows how to talk to them, I should say. And we just put in the criteria to get it done. So this is something that's off senior people's complete radar. They're barely on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And I know it's hard, and they get just thrown at by dollar-generated stuff that's just ridiculous. It's a political campaign. And by the way, you can probably guess which side we're on. But it really is. It's a real estate political campaign to get the hearts and minds of people, because we make too much common sense and too much logic, and it drives us crazy because we understand one thing and one thing only that the other agents can't say they do. And that is the one word: context, period. That's the way we run the business. It's a one word way to run a business and to run a real estate brokerage and sell your house. It's look at the entire context. Look at who the buyers are. Every seller said, oh, my house is worth this and worth that. And because of it, no, dude, we will tell you the reality. And I'm kind of talking to the kids of the parents who have houses to sell, rather than, because I don't think we're on Facebook, are we? Oh, yeah. Oh, we are? Okay. Hey, if this goes on Facebook, great. Hi, everybody. Hi, Meadowland. So the idea is that I was going to do some kind of a slogan like, don't let your parents spend your inheritance with a real estate broker. It's that kind of thing, but that would have been funny. Anyway, so my point here is that we're going to do all this work. We're going to do the ChatGTP. That's where I think we were at, or like product. We know how to market. We know how to make the pictures pretty. We know how to make the house pretty. We do the important things. And guess what? Especially in the California market, it's all being sold because people are searching on Zillow and Reddit and Redfin. That's it, pretty much. Everything else with all these other fancy marketing things, it doesn't matter because you set alerts on your phone. A lot of real estate agents think their job is finding a house for buyers. No, our job is representing the buyer, negotiating for the buyer, seeing all the context of everything. You're out looking at houses. You're going to open houses, or we're making appointments for you. You don't need us to hold your hand. You've told us that. People, when we start talking to them in the beginning, sometimes say, hey, I don't need your help. I'm searching for property. I got my alerts. I got my data charts. I got all kinds of algorithms going. And we just need you to get us in the house, write the contract, and, submit the thing, and blah, blah, blah. Then they find out from us there's a lot more to it, and they're happy they used us. Mm-hmm. So all these do-it-yourselfers, yeah, I want you to just do this, do this, do this. Boom. But we love doing it. It's been a ride. Uh,
Pre-Zillow, pre-Redfin, almost like
Different
early-
story.
Then you would have to help someone find a house because there wasn't this vast network and there wasn't all the tools that we have today.
Yeah. I mean, there are still agents who need to take people out. If you're relocating from another city, you have no idea where to go. There are
If
people
you're
who
from
need the
France
hand
or an
holding.
international.
Yeah. So there are reasons to go with them. And René does that. And I do this. I mean, we'll pop out with people. I mean, it's
Mhm.
not like we're always here. We like to get out. René's out more than I am, but especially kind of the first time. So we give you a feel on actually how to look at property,
Mhm.
what to really care about. I'll give you a first hint about open houses. Go on the first day of the first open house, first minute it's open.
Mhm.
And if there are 50 people there, well, guess what? The price is going to be enormous. So that's your indication. And you get to see the house. René, do you want this would be a good time for René to talk, because talk about the agents and in an open house.
Sure. I mean, we'll talk about the open houses in a bit, but one thing I wanted to mention is about how, in terms of like finding a house, it's like at this day and age, you have agents that want to create their value by saying like, oh, well, I have a list of secret buildings and I work with developers and flippers, and you won't find houses in you won't find houses in the public if you work with me. So you're going to get a house. And we actually had a buyer, and I think we should more freely talk about like with the current buyers and stuff too. We had a buyer who actually got on the contract 2 days ago. And I had told him like, hey, like we have the same marketing tools to find the off markets. And the reaction was, so we're working on the mortgage with them for more context versus a real estate now. But they said, oh, our agent actually has properties off market because they're developers and flippers. And it turns out they bid on a property that was in the market, right? So at the end of the day, it's like even if there are flips and off markets, the sellers, even if they're flippers, are still going to put them on the market. They will still go and be public on Zillow and Redfin. So it's just an incredible lie in terms of agents saying like, oh, come with me because I have this secret list of real estate properties that nobody else will find. But yeah, no, I mean, open houses, find out who actually has clients and who doesn't have clients when you go to open houses. There's some agents that just want to be your friends, but they don't know anything about real estate. I spend half of the time in the open house just telling agents how to negotiate better, right? Or how to actually go on Redfin and Zillow.
Let me add something right there, René.
Sure.
Besides searching, but we had 2 offers the other day on one of our listings. And the first offer was, just incredibly technically terrible. It was written wrong. It had missing documents. It was awful. And this was an agent who is the local agent who, she should know how to do documentation, and she's with Compass. So they never taught her. She doesn't have a transaction coordinator. She does a decent amount of deals. And this is just no context. You fill out the form like you're supposed to do. Everybody knows allegedly how to do it. The second offer was also really low in price. Oh yeah, you're really going to get a steal in a 9 school district in Santa Clara County.
Well, not even that though. It's like some people think that they're that we're lying to them. If we tell you something, at least our company is, we're not going to lie to you, right? This agent that came to my open house, actually, I told her and I warned her that the listing would sell above list because our listing was better than the one that actually sold across the street from the property that we were listing, right? And I told her like, hey, this is nicer. And she thought that I was bluffing because a lot of agents bluff, right? And they do lie. And that's why the real estate industry is just so broken, because it's filled with liars, right? But I was actually trying to help her, get the deal by telling her like, no, I've seen the interest. It's going to go higher, right? And she thought I was lying to her. So she bid $50K below list.
Okay, but let me add this to it, dude. When I looked at her paperwork, and by the way, context again, when I get an offer, I not only look at the fill in the blanks on the offer, but I look at things like the pre-approval you give us. her pre-approval was not a fully underwritten pre-approval. Like it specifically said, do not even bother submitting without a fully underwritten pre-approval because you're going to waive the mortgage contingency. So why is that a problem? Because if you waive the mortgage contingency and for some reason they haven't underwritten your loan, they finally get your bank statements, but they see something they don't like and you can't do it and you can lose your deposit. So it is just, it's unbelievable. These people would stick themselves out and then they'll have errors and omission claims down the road. It's just disastrous. I mean, we're really rocking and rolling here, aren't we? Okay.
Well, errors. Well, I'm going to go back to something we talked about 2 weeks ago. Title insurance in action. So I saw that article in Hawaii about that. They built the house on the wrong lot.
Yeah. I saw that.
And title insurance didn't catch it. And then the lady, and there's only a couple houses already built on this area, and there's the lot right next to it that's open. And they offered to give her that lot. No, she wants the whole house torn down.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably from a long time ago when they were kind of manually doing things. Today, it's all automated. It's all digital. So the likelihood of getting a mistake like that, because it's all...
Well, that was the thing. That the lot was purchased for $20,000 in a tax auction. But the tax auction had the wrong
You
lot.
got the county involved. Forget it. Okay, moving on.
So
that's why in Sylvania, I remember.
Okay, moving on.
No title company will insure an auction, a state or city auction. So anyway, moving on. Okay,
so
I just flashed something and let me bring it back here to the.
Yeah, this is interesting. I was actually getting to that. So for those that don't know, we kind of have a Slack and we're kind of throwing the ideas together for this podcast all week long. And I saw this come out earlier this week.
Okay, so this actually comes from a conversation I had in Slack with an actual borrower. He was thinking, what he's going to offer and all that kind of good stuff. Well, here's the thing. You're not buying a house in California. You're not buying any real estate. Real estate is defined as like stuff you put on top of the land because you have air rights and down rights, and that's called real property. Real estate is just the buildings. Okay. So what you look at when you do an appraisal, they will give like the value of the property, and then they'll break it down between property, and they have some configuration of some number of square feet by the type of property, what kind of stuff it's built with, what kind, how fancy things are, blah, blah, blah. So they come up with a number for the house, and then they say the land is worth X. So if we did this deal, 300,000 in Kansas, and looked at the property, let's say single family, 3,000 square feet, and for $300,000, probably, 30,000 land, 270 house, 10%. Mm-hmm. Here, probably closer to 50-50. That's the difference. That's why property in California is more expensive. So what people are buying is a school district. They know this piece of land is in a school district. Super. It's all mine. Now I can put my kids through this great school. Can you imagine in 20 years from now how much better the schools are going to be because all these younger people are all, smart and techie and all that. They're just going to make the schools that much better.
I mean, I'm going to disagree on that one just because,
okay.
I mean, sure, there's going to be a lot of people who we see this as like a case study is Fremont, right? I hear you when 15, 20 years ago, nobody wanted to be in Fremont, and now it's like everybody wants to be there. But you still, right. You still have locations where like Czech people have moved in for like the last 20 years and prices have not gone higher. So it's not an exact science,
it's not
right?
everywhere. I'm talking about the Cupertinos of the world.
Oh, sure.
Isolated case. You also get those areas where the tech people move in, they have their family and they never move out. And then suddenly there's no kids anymore. And the school district, there's no kids to go to the school. That's happened in my area where they...
Oh, yeah. And people are staying in their houses longer too. Elevators are cheap now. Mm-hmm. All right. I got another thing. It's a little more on the funny side. As soon as I do. This is in beautiful Beverly Hills where you can buy a house. And I think you get a Bentley with it.
Square foot house for $3.8 million. That shows you what you're buying for the land.
Yeah. And you should see the interior pictures. It's just well lived in from, I don't know when thing was built, could be 60s, 70s, 80s, but it's a mess. It's a tear down,
Like,
you know.
those
Yeah, it
colors.
could be with those Georgian giant, I think they're Georgian, can't really tell the type of columns. Anyway, so this was on the multiple listing service. So did the agent just get out of their Bentley and do their, Google Pixel 7 phone pictures and forget the fact that they actually put their license plate number there? Oh, here's a better picture of it. And it's in the multiple listing service. So obviously we don't have any AI, but if I was negotiating for this house, I'd ask for the Bentley. Looks like it's included, right? Buy a house, get a Bentley.
Might be if you're in the $4 million range, you might as well throw the Bentley.
Yeah, really. What's the $100,000 Bentley in the Los Angeles market? Anyway.
Pretty funny.
Okay, so one more thing to bore people with today, and then we'll get off. Mortgage dudes. Okay, so I had somebody in our chat from our website basically say to me, I don't need to post this, was some personal info that he has here. Just trying to get it. Okay. He said that his lender said in Washington State that agent rebates are illegal. Huh? Okay. That's incorrect. What this agent was really talking about is how a mortgage company would look at it. You can use your rebate towards your closing costs up to whatever the max is for that loan that you're taking. But if you pay any more, if you get the rest of the rebate, it reduces the sale price. So if you got an 80% loan to value, you'd be over 80 and have mortgage insurance. If you're putting 200,000 down, I'm sorry, like 40% down, some massive amount, take the rebate and they'll just reduce the sale price, quote unquote, not the real sale price, but the value that they use to do their loan. So it's another way of doing it. It's something I forgot about, and I'll start recommending to some of my clients because it just makes life easier.
What's that again? Say it again so I can understand it.
Okay. So let's say, easy thing. Let's say the whole rebate is $20,000 after we're paid. Okay. And you're buying $1 million house and putting $500,000 down. So it's a 50% loan to value. There's 10,000 in closing costs. So we can pay for that 10, but for the other 10, what they do is they say, okay, well, we'll determine that the value of the house, regardless of the sale price, is now $10,000 less. So it's 999,990. You follow that. Okay. And you're now at a 50.02 loan to value. I'm making that. Can't do the math in my head on all those nines. Knowing, you know what that is, don't you? Knowing. Anyway, so where was I? So it's just the loan to value would change. That's all. So you can have the whole rebate credited. So, but don't use your loan officer for real estate advice is really the bottom line with all this. They don't know. It's not illegal.
And it's all about education and educating the customer and understanding.
Right. What's that one word?
Context? No.
Context. Exactly.
Really, yeah. There was some misunderstanding of terms from reading.
To be fair, I do think that some mortgage brokers do understand that they need to be aggressive, right? I mean, we just had an offer from a mortgage broker and they gave us a 17-day closing. And it's like, oh, wow, you understand the real estate industry. And know that you have to be aggressive, right? Like and here's the thing, right? Like as a buyer, can you close in 30 days? Yes, absolutely. Like, that's just a given. If you give $1 million over list, you can close in 30 days and every day of the week. But you always want to plan for the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, you're going to be bidding against a cash buyer. And that's where you want to be over prepared and be able to close quickly. And people always mention and quote like, oh, well, I had a friend who closed in 45 days. It's like, okay, well, that was a specific deal. And your friend was not dealing your friend wasn't dealing with this deal, right? So We just want to over prepare you. And, if you want a longer closing and we're getting under contract, you can talk with the agent. I mean, there are some sellers who want to close later, right? Because they have to, work on their taxes and whatnot. And for the accounting purposes, it works better for them to close longer.
Or sometimes they're actually in
so-
another closing deal where they're trying to buy their house because they're
Yeah,
moving.
exactly. Yeah. No, and some people don't want to close sooner because if they do close sooner and they're doing a 1031 exchange, then their 45 days start, right? So maybe they want to delay the closing to find a house. So it's like, obviously it just kind of depends. Yeah.
Case by case, and get your advice from your real estate agent, not your mortgage broker. There you go. So, anyway, I think that's enough for this week. And by the way, this is Joshua Tree.
Yeah, I was saying, you got Joshua Tree. Was that your outhouse back there?
I don't know. I took this when I was there. Yeah, there we go. That's cool.
Well, I got to go back out there. It looks like a historic monument. I can see a plaque. It's probably a historic outhouse.
Could be.
Yeah.
George Washington peed here. Yeah. So how long does it take you from where you are to get to JT?
Maybe
I think it's like 2.5 hours, no?
2.5, 3 hours. Yeah.
Okay. So it's basically the same from San Diego as it is from LA.
It's kind of a diagonal. They kind of meet.
Yeah, exactly. But and the way the roads go too.
Mhm.
You get to go over the hill and down, and pretty cool.
I can't say I've only been to Joshua Tree once. My wife goes up to Pappy and Harrods all the time and sees bands.
Nice. Yeah.
It's always with her girlfriends. I need to.
Well, Coachella was sort of near here, and other one that was last week.
Did you go to Coachella, Fred?
No, not this year.
Well, you, Renee, you seem like you'd be a Coachella guy.
I haven't been in a couple of years, so maybe next year it always lands close to my birthday, right? So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I want that to be my birthday kind of
Have
activity.
either of you done Burning Man?
No, that's also TBD. Everybody in the tech industry does Burning Man, so it just feels like I have to do it as well at some point. So maybe next year, if any one of our listeners wants to invite me to do Burning Man, I'll join you guys.
Burning tickets just went on sale, or they've been on sale the last couple of weeks. Maybe they're sold out again. I don't know. I saw it on my Reddit feed. What's the last good words here, Renee?
No gold mining this time. I guess don't be like me and visit your grandparents more often, or else you'll lose the inheritance.
There's typical millennial. Just show me the money.
Hey, you know what? Nobody believes me, but I still think of myself as a Gen Z. I'm cuspy. I'm the last.
Yeah,
I'm the
you're
last
cuspy. With Mercury rising or something like that.
Now it's Gen Alpha.
Yes, I think so.
Are we just going to go Alpha Beta?
It's going to be a 26 and another 26.
And we're not going to be like...
It's going to blow up anyway.
On that positive note, this has been another episode of We Fixed Real Estate.
Wait a second. You forgot to ask me my last word.
What is your last words? Not your last words, but the last words for this episode.
Context.
On that note, we are going to go figure out how to fix real estate some more. Have a good week, everyone.